Hello all. In this lecture, we will see two life cycle models. That is, first one is incremental model and second one is evolutionary model. So incremental development model. So this is also referred to as successive versions model. So in this model, what we do is we deliver successive versions of the software. We start from the whole software. What we'll do is we broke it into several different modules. Then what we do is we deliver some of the versions first. We call it as version A of the software will be delivered to the customer, and the customer will use that software. Meanwhile, we will be designing the another version with some additional features B, and we will deliver another second version of the software will be given to the customer, and again that customer will use the software, and again meanwhile we'll be developing the third version of the software, and when we finish it, we deliver it to the customer. So successive versions of the software will be given to the customer, and the customer will use that software. Okay. So in this way, this development will happen. So the whole software will be broken into several small modules, and we will deliver different versions of the software in incremental development model. So the thing is that we'll plan only for the next increment. We need not have long-term plans. We just plan for the next increment only. Then we can accommodate change requests from the customer, because when we deliver the first version of the software, the customer will do some suggestions or some changes will be made by the customer. So we can accommodate those changes when we release the next version of the software. So that is another advantage of this incremental development model. Here what we do is we develop the core feature first. So the company will develop the core feature first. So what do you mean by these core features? So core features are the features which do not invoke services of other features. So there will be many features. If some features do not invoke services of other features, then those features are known as core features. So those features which invoke services of other features are known as non-core features. So what we do is we develop the core features first. So these core features have no interaction with other features. So this can be delivered to the customer. Then after that, in successive versions, we will deliver other features to the software. So in this way, we can develop this incremental software using this incremental development model. So what we do is after that, we will refine into increasing levels of capability by adding new functionalities to the already released software. So each increment developed using is developed using the iterative waterfall model. So we have already seen the iterative waterfall model. So each version of the software will be developed using this iterative waterfall model. So you will see the life cycle activities. So if we see the life cycle activities, if we see the model as a whole, what we do is we will do the requirement specification as in the case of previous models, like in the waterfall model or like in the iterative model. We have to initially specify all the requirements by the customer. So all the requirements by the customer will be specified, and we do the SRS documentation. So that SRS document will be marked as complete. After that, the developers will identify the core features, and we develop the first version of the software in iterative waterfall model. So this is actually iterative waterfall model. Even though we are showing it as waterfall model, it is iterative. So there will be feedback from test to code, from design. There will be feedback mechanism. So we will deliver we will develop the first version of the software, that is design, coding, testing, and then we will deploy it to the customer. So the customer will use that software. Meanwhile, we will be developing the second version of the software. And also we'll get the feedback from the customer, and we'll add those feedbacks to the second version of the software. So second version of the software will also be developed using this iterative waterfall model. Then like this, it will go on, version n-1, and finally version n of the software. That is a final version of the software will be developed. Full software will be deployed to the customer. So this is the incremental development model. So here the thing we have to note is the requirement specification is done initially itself. We won't modify the initial requirements. Only small changes to the Those requirements will be made in the successive versions. We won't change the SRS as a whole. So SRS is fixed here. In the incremental development model, the SRS is fixed here. We cannot modify the SRS document. Okay. So the advantages of this incremental development model is error reduction. So errors can be reduced because the core modules will be delivered initially itself. So the customer will be using the core modules from the beginning itself. Okay, the core modules will be used by the customer in the initial from the initial stage itself. And when we deliver we'll get the feedback from the customer. If there are some bugs in the core modules, it can be corrected in the successive versions. And finally, when we deliver, the core modules will be completely tested, will be tested many times. So there won't be much errors in the fully developed software. So that is one of the advantages of this incremental development model. And second disadvantage is incremental resource deployment. So there will be incremental resource deployment. That is, the customer need not invest huge resources for the whole software because we are delivering only part of the software. So we don't require that much server requirements for the customer because we are not delivering the whole software initially itself. So they need to spend only a small amount of money at the initial stage. Later on, they can add the resources. So if you want some more hardware upgrade, so the customer can upgrade the hardware in the second stage. Like that, it will go on. So incremental resource deployment is there for the customer. So incremental resource deployment is there for the companies also. The software companies need not, or the organization need not spend large amount of money for the whole resources and manpower because initially we will be working only small version of the software. So we require only small team for the thing, and we require only small amount of resources for that software development. So later on, we can add people to the software, or add development members to the software. So incremental resource deployment is there for the customer and as well as for the organization. So these are the two advantages of incremental development model. You see the disadvantages, all the disadvantages of iterative waterfall model, or most of the disadvantages of the iterative waterfall model will be there because the requirements is initially fixed itself. We cannot change the whole requirements. We can make only slight changes to the requirements. The whole requirements or new requirements cannot be added to the software. So that is the disadvantage of this incremental development model. Okay. So next model is evolutionary model. So evolutionary model. So this evolutionary model has many features of the incremental development model. So like in the incremental model, the software is developed over increments. So we have already seen the incremental model. There the software is developed in increments. Like in incremental model, here in evolutionary model also, we develop the software in increments. So what we do is we develop a feature and it is implemented and it is deployed in the client side. Then the software is again refined. then software is again refined, and again the next version of the software will be delivered to the customer. Okay. But the difference between incremental and evolutionary model is in the incremental model, we have already seen the incremental model that SRS is specified initially itself. We cannot modify the SRS. But in the case of evolutionary model, we won't specify the whole requirements at the initial stage itself. We will mention only some of the features in the initial stage. So it is a rough requirement specification at the initial stage. And we develop based on the rough requirement specification. Later on, additional requirements can be added by the customer in the case of evolutionary model. But in the case of incremental model, we cannot add any new requirements. Here, new requirements can be added in successive versions. So that is the difference between evolutionary and incremental model. Okay. So here, these are the different life cycle activities that will be there. So requirements will, this software is developed over a number of increments. So requirements will be the plan, estimates, and solution will evolve over iterations. So this is done over iterations. So the here main thing is design a little, test a little, and deploy a little. So that is the principle of evolutionary model. We will design a little, test a little, and deploy a little. Okay. So this is the evolutionary model. Here, these are the different life cycle activities. First one is rough requirement specification will be done by the customer. The whole SRS won't be developed here. Only the rough requirement specification will be done. And based on that, we identify the core and other parts to be developed incrementally. Then we develop the core part using the iterative waterfall model, same as in the case of incremental model. We use the iterative waterfall model for development. Then we collect customer feedback and modify requirements here. We can add new requirements. Then develop the next identified features using an iterative waterfall model. And again, it will be delivered to the customer. Again, this will go on repeating. When all the features are complete, we go to the maintenance stage. So this is the evolutionary model. So here the difference is we are specifying only rough requirements. So new requirements can be added by the customer at the later stages. So this is the difference between incremental and evolutionary model. So these are the activities we have already seen. Rough requirement specification, identify core and other parts to be developed, then develop the core part using iterative waterfall model, collect customer feedback and modify requirements, develop the next identified features using an iterative waterfall model, and finally maintenance phase will be there. So we'll see the advantages of this model. So we'll mention only two advantages. There are several advantages for this model. First advantage is effective elicitation of actual customer requirements. So we can gather the actual requirements from the customer if we use this model. Because we are developing only partially the software will be given to the software to the customer. So the customer can use it and can change or modify the software itself. So we can add new features, we can mention new requirements. So all the features, or finally when the software is given to the customer, all the features, all the customer requirements will be met. So that is one of the major advantages of this model. Second advantage is easy handling of change requests. So change requests can be made. We have already seen all the changes can be accommodated while we develop the software. So this is another advantages of this model. Then there are disadvantages also. The first disadvantage is feature division into incremental parts can be non-trivial. That is, if we are developing small versions, small projects, then it is very difficult to divide it into small features. So we have to divide the whole software into different features. So when we are developing small projects, it is very difficult to divide it into small parts of, and small parts cannot be developed using this model. And also, if you are developing large problems also, if you are really developing large problems also, it is difficult to develop a certain number of features. So because all the features maybe having some links together. So they will be linking different features. It is difficult to develop in this way. So there will be a considerable amount of plan is required to develop large software. So that is another disadvantage of this incremental evolutionary model. Then another major disadvantage is we follow a ad hoc design, because each increment we won't be planning about the whole software. We just develop the rough requirements based on the rough requirements. So the software won't be an optimized one. We just deliver some functions. Again, we add some features. We deliver the software. So the optimization won't be done here. Okay, the software won't be efficient or consistent. Maybe it won't be an optimized one. Okay, so because we will be simply designing based on the rough requirements. So that is another disadvantage of this model. disadvantage of this model. The applicability of this evolutionary development model. So this model it can be used for very large projects where it is easier to find modules for incremental implementation. So it is suitable for very large projects where we can identify the different modules for incremental implementation. Then when the customer prefers to receive product in increments, we can go for this model. And another applicability is in object-oriented development, this evolutionary model is suitable. So if you are developing object-oriented or using object-oriented approach, then we can go for this evolutionary model. So we'll learn about object-oriented approach later. So that's all. Thank you.